Willie.
All right, let's go right to the scene in Alexandria, Virginia, along the Potomac River. NBC News correspondent Aaron Gilchrist, not far from where that collision took place. Aaron, good morning. So we're talking about 67 people, 3 soldiers aboard that Army Black Hawk helicopter, 64 people, according to American Airlines, on that commercial aircraft. What more can you tell us right now about the search and rescue mission?
Well, this search and rescue mission is still very much ongoing. You may be able to hear the helicopter that's flying overhead. There were a few, at least, that were up late last night. We've had one circling, going back and forth, up and down the river the entire time that we've been out here this morning. And you may be able to see still some flashing lights over my shoulder here. This has been an effort that started almost immediately after the first reports of this plane and helicopter collision came in a little before 9 o'clock last night Eastern time. We saw as many as 300, according to DC Fire, 300 first responders respond to this scene from agencies throughout the National Capital Region. They have a mutual aid agreement where when something like this happens, you'll have first responders from DC and counties in Virginia, Maryland, federal responders, state responders as well, all show up at the same time. They've been in the water. Divers have been in the water through the night, along with boats on the water, going through, as we understand, the fuselage from the aircraft, the regional airplane that went down here, as well as that Black Hawk helicopter. Again, trying to find some of those passengers, trying to find some of those crew members who went into the water with these aircraft last night. As you noted, at this point, we don't know that any survivors have been found, and we don't officially have word that bodies have been recovered, although sources have told our affiliate here that 12 or more bodies have been recovered to this point. That question was put to D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser last night, or rather this morning, during a briefing that she gave. She wouldn't answer it directly about the number of people who may have been recovered or who may have survived here. We do expect, Willie, there will be another news conference around 7:30 this morning after the sun comes up, at a point at which we think that first responders will be able to have even more, obviously, visibility and perhaps more access to this search scene.
Yeah, about an hour away still from sunrise there. We're hearing from, as you said, NBC Washington, more than a dozen bodies have been recovered, perhaps as many as 20, but obviously it's a very fluid situation out there. We'll get an update at 7:30. Aaron, early hours here, but what are you hearing from sources about what we saw on that video and what we heard on air traffic control, which is a clear night, a pretty routine approach into Reagan National, and that Black Hawk helicopter, despite the warnings from air traffic control, flying directly into the commercial airplane. A lot of people asking already, how could that have happened?
That really is the big question here, Willie, because this is such a tightly controlled airspace around Washington, D.C. Commercial aircraft, for the most part, don't fly over the District of Columbia, and there are so many military facilities all the way down to Quantico, the Marine Corps base south of the airport. Fort Belvoir also south. Directly across from DCA, you have the Joint Base Anacostia Bowling. Fort McNair is here. There are so many military installations here where these sorts of helicopters would be moving about that it's hard to believe that the protocols wouldn't have helped something like this not to happen. And so it's one of the questions that's being asked. But the focus first is on trying to get to the victims of this crash. And then you're going to see the NTSB, the FAA, the Department of Defense all come in here and try to figure out exactly what happened, how it happened, and how to prevent it from ever happening again.
All right, NBC's Aaron Gilchrist in Virginia for us, right there along the Potomac at the scene of the crash. Aaron, we'll be back to you very soon. We appreciate it.